Are you ready to become the man who saved the world from an alien menace?
Cadmus.
They want to kill us. All of us.
I just need you to pull up your big girl pants and own your power.
We salvaged you, modified you, and resurrected you. They won't even know what hit them. They say they come in peace. But how long will it be before these gods decide to rule instead of serve?
Earth's traitors will burn.
A calling is something that is within you.
We have a duty to be where we need to help.
You are what we've been waiting for.
Lena Luthor.
Lex's sister.
I'm just a woman trying to make a name for herself outside of her family. Can you understand that?
It's not enough to defend the world. You need to live in it too.
You're a traitor to your people.
It's not us against them.
You have integrity to right wrongs and to see justice done. I can see the hero within you.
We have given our lives protecting the people of Earth.
The ego of gods. This is their weakness. Then it begins.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So new Supergirl footage for the next couple of episodes. We have President Wonder Woman that I'll explain in a second. Looks like we got more Superman, Fortress of Solitude, and Metallo beat down. So here we go. A nice twist on the idea of taking up the hero's call. Like in the first episode, Kara's having trouble figuring out what she wants to do with her life moving forward. Cat Grant gives her this big speech that gets her all pumped up. These two clips, it's actually like two trailers jammed together for the next episode, is a twist on that where you have Cadmus Labs giving Metallo the hero's call to action. Are you ready to take up the fight? Become the hero that saved the human race. So it's just a fun dark twist on that. If the music didn't already tip you off to that, like they start off with a really dark music. The other big thing in this might be footage from the next couple of episodes, not just next week's episode like they did with that flash footage from last weekend, but we see Linda Carter as the United States president. So Wonder Woman is the president of the United States. Of course Wonder Woman would be president of the United States. So it seems like they have like this xenophobia storyline going on where insidious forces are playing on people's fears of alien invasion. So they try to create all this drama. So President Wonder Woman comes along and tries to make everyone chill the hell out, but Supergirl has to protect her from attacks. So it's going to be a lot of fun seeing what she does on the show. So I don't know if she's going to be in episode 2, she might be in episode 3, but we'll be seeing her pretty quickly. So look forward to lots of Wonder Woman Easter eggs when she does show up. Little bit of Fortress of Solitude action, couple really iconic moments from the comics here. You have the birth of Metallo, and you have like the death of Supergirl from Crisis on Infinite Earths. If you haven't read that storyline, you've probably seen this image before. It's one of like the most famous Supergirl panels ever. And it was basically DC fixing its continuity. What happened is that post-Crisis, what they wanted to do with the character is that they wanted Superman to be the only survivor of Krypton, so they needed to give Supergirl a different origin story when they reintroduced her later. So that's how you got to the Matrix version of Supergirl, which is really confusing. And then much later when they did Infinite Crisis, which was kind of like the sequel event to Crisis on Infinite Earths. If you don't remember Infinite Crisis, don't worry, you don't need to go back and read it. It gets really confusing. But they rebooted her continuity again, but then they rebooted her again during the New 52, and it becomes kind of like a redo version of the new Krypton arc where she tries to remake Krypton on Earth. Then she goes into outer space, becomes a Red Lantern. It gets really crazy. The new Rebirth version of Supergirl is her as a teenager in high school, and I think it's going to be a lot more fun. It's more in keeping with the tone of the TV show, but luckily you don't actually have to read the comics to understand what's going on in the TV show, but you'll totally spot these kinds of iconic moments from the comics. Like these are really easy to spot, like, oh, they are very clearly doing this comic book cover. But the other thing here is they're just hammering home the idea that Cadmus Labs is the big bad of this first half of the season. There'll definitely be other villains too. Villains from outer space. We know we're getting Roulette later in the season. She'll be like one of the other antagonists. This other girl in the trailer, it's hard to tell who she is just based on the way she's talking to Supergirl. She calls her a traitor to her people, so it makes her sound like she's another Kryptonian. The only other Kryptonian that they could do that's like a big female character would be Power Girl. There are a lot of Kryptonians that surfaced during that new Krypton arc. But, you know, she could be a Daxamite as part of the Mon-El plot. and she could be from Kandor, because I'm really hoping, even if they don't do a new Krypton arc, because they kind of did that last season with Zod's followers, but I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Cadmus Labs got their hands on the bottle city of Kandor. That'd be pretty badass. You could go a number of different directions with that storyline, because one, you have to save Kandor, then two, what would you do if people started coming back to normal size? There'd be Kryptonians all over the place, but that feels like it'd get a little ridiculous, a little fast, so I don't think they're going straight to that. I think Mon-El, Superman, and Supergirl will be like the main Kryptonians on the show for the time being. There'll probably be other superpowered people that'll be able to match their abilities, but you don't want to like flood the screen with Kryptonians all of a sudden. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about Metallo on the show? And how long do you think it's going to take before they get to a Bottle City of Kandor storyline? I would totally be okay if they saved that for the second half of the season, or they teased that going into like season 3 and it became a big season 3 thing. Because you already have like so much stuff going on with the 4-night crossover that's going to be the Dominators. They haven't said anything about the Daxamites, even though Mon-El is a Daxamite. He's from the place that the Daxamites live in the comics, that special nebula that they talked about in the episode. And we have like the big Flash crossover in the second half of the season. There's like that musical episode they've been talking about, but they've already teased like so many big action set pieces throughout the season, big characters, that I feel like they'll probably hold off on Bottle City of Kandor, but anything could happen. One of the cool things about like the DC CW shows is that all the showrunners of all the different shows have said that Greg Berlanti is the guy who's like, oh, you have like a big storyline that you want to do for the finale. Well, move that up and think of something new to do during the finale. So like Flashpoint on The Flash, for instance, a lot of conventional TV shows might have spent like 6 or 7 episodes, maybe an entire season in that Flashpoint storyline. But Greg Berlanti, the Flash people are just like, blow past it, move up the conclusion of that story and go on to something else. Think of something more interesting to do after that. So usually one of the telltale signs of a boring show is when they do not burn through plot really fast. So Flash burns through plot, Supergirl burning through plot, just showing you they're not wasting any time doing the really big, really WTF awesome stuff. So get hyped, new episode of The Flash, posting tonight, episode 2. They're introducing the Tom Felton character. He's playing Julian Albert. I'll explain Dr. Alchemy stuff when I post that. There'll be all kinds of Dr. Alchemy stuff that we'll talk about this season. It's going to be a lot of fun. So be sure to subscribe to get that. There is a new round of the DC giveaway that's going on. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. I'll just remind everyone when I post that Flash video tonight. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for my Flash Killer Frost trailer for that episode tonight, and you can click here for my Supergirl episode 1 Easter egg video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody, let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.